All praises to the high. Yahweh Shah. Yo, what's up, y'all? This Yo Crizzle. I want to show y'all something that's simple in Studio One. Check this out. We all know when you add a few tracks, and let's say you might have a whole bunch of tracks, and you grab these, you press shift, and what you do, you go to pack folder, right? And once you pack folder, they minimize, maximize, whatever you want to call it. You can change the color of them Johns, like that. Name it. You're gonna name it Hook, stuff like that, right? Right. See, but the thing is that how we do this on the mixer, even though in my opinion, if you pack the folders on this part, it should already be automatically the same way on the mixer. We shouldn't have to do the certain extra things that I'm about to show you just to do it. Like, that's the only part that I have a problem with. And when you press this folder, it open them Johns up. Now, first you have to go to the option right here. It's called Link Expand Folder Tracks with Show High. You make sure that's selected and save it as a template. So now if you notice, when I click this, it opened up those tracks. When I close it, it closed those tracks, right? Which is great. But sometimes the thing is, you're not always dealing with the damn sequencer part, the arranger. Sometimes you just only want to deal with the mixer. So, what can you do on the mixer when you just want to minimize these tracks? Because you might have like 40, 50 tracks, like literally. And, and busting things down where sometimes you might want to minimize something and you don't always want to hide a track. Because I know me, I don't want to always hide a track, and I'm gonna let y'all know why it makes sense later. And you don't always want to hide a track, so sometimes you just want to minimize those drum tracks or those audio tracks. So let me show you how to do this, right? So I'm gonna bring this down. So what you do, you grab this track, you press shift, highlight that, and we're gonna add a bus. And on this bus, we're gonna name this the hook. Hook is, for people who don't know, a hook is a chorus. Just to give you an example, whatever you want to use. So once you go right here, this part, and you click this and you add hook, right? It changed the color again, but we're gonna click this right quick and bring the color right back. Right? So now when I close that, it closes, do the same function. But if you notice, if you look right here, it got the folder on the John right now. You click that, it packs the folders on the tracks. I like that. Wonderful. We need that. Well, I know I need it. I'm OCD. I like stuff neat. No limitations. And at the same time, so for example, now you can add, hold on, let me press Control Z on that. John. And so what we're gonna do, we're gonna add a few more tracks, right? Right, and we're gonna pack the folder on these, right? And we're gonna change. Now we won't change the color right now. Once we pack the folder, we're gonna open these up, I'm gonna click these, add a bus. We're gonna name this vocals, right? Now we're gonna go right here at this part, go to vocals, right? And we're gonna change the color of this, right? We're gonna minimize that. Boom. So now if you, but this is the dope part I like. So I got my vocal tracks, right? I'm gonna save it as a template. So now, if you notice when I go down here, this track right here, actually I take that back. Hold on. I should have named this vocal bus so it don't confuse nobody. And I should have named this part, hold on. Hook bus. Because actually the first track is the bus. Just to let y'all know that. This is actually the bus track for all these tracks. So meaning that when you put an effect on this track right here, it's supposed to affect all these tracks. Where you don't have to put an EQ on this one, EQ on this one, EQ on this one, EQ on that track, so on. Y'all get it. Y'all know how that go. So you got hook bus, vocal bus. Now, Studio One 3 had this, actually have it, and I think it's the same way how they function it, right? And then right here I got my effects tracks, my side chain to the, side change the effects, or I could side change my reverb, and I can go right here and just add the reverb, and just click right here and go to side chain and side change the reverb, so on to get your job done. But the point is that me personally speaking, if I got a bunch of tracks on my mixer, I don't want to have a whole bunch of tracks where I gotta slide all the way down to find a certain track, because when I'm mixing, I'm not focusing on this part right now. I might be in this moment. So now I could just open those, play with these, close it, open these, close it. And they could sit right here. I don't have to hide these tracks. Because sometimes when you hide tracks, I'm gonna hide this. And let me click right here. And which is not a big deal breaker, but you gotta, you click right here. There you go. You just go right here and just open them back up. It's still a good point. You can just open the tracks back up. But sometimes you don't want to hide them anyway. But now, let me bring this down. Instruments. Now we know we can have pack folders in instruments. That's called multi-instruments. But something I didn't know, because before what was annoying me with Studio One is that if I use my impact, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to a preset. I'm gonna go to funky kick, and I'm gonna drop that in. And what I'm gonna do first, once that drop in, I'm gonna erase these other tracks, vocal bus and hook bus, so it don't confuse nobody. I'm gonna erase that. I'm gonna erase that. So now, no, I did the wrong thing. Hold on. I think I need to delete this completely. Hold on. Okay, I see what it's doing. Let me go right here and erase all of these. Alright. That's the only thing on like see what I'm saying? When I erase the tracks on here, it still leave the I mean I get it, it leave the bus on the track. It's kind of different from Bitwig. That's, remove everything. If it's all together and I press remove, remove everything. Okay, now, so as you can see, I got the Impact Drum Machine, right? I'm gonna click right here and press apply names to channels. So it's gonna name this channel Funky Kick, whatever. So when I click right here, you got that one. As you notice, that Studio One have certain instruments on the same track, like 6/6, a perk down, a ram. Sometimes it makes sense to me when they do it that way. Sometimes it don't because I might want to EQ, the perk bell different from the ram shot, man. You know, like how Bitwig set up. So me personally, I think if they're gonna do it this way, every instrument should have its own track. But I see why they did it because they got A through H, and if you notice when you click this, they only got 16 of stereo and 16 of mono. So that means you can only have what 31, I think so. That's 31. 31 tracks from the Impact Drum Machine. So it's a limitation. And the reason why I bring it up because if I chop samples, some people chop samples in pieces and then drop it in, drop it in. Sometimes I get a whole song and chop the whole song in and drop it in, and it fills up probably like A through D. And I just play with the samples and see what I come up with. And so every track won't be linked to a track. You just have to link to what you plan to that track. So, that's the only thing, the downfall that I don't like. Because if I was in Bitwig, it'll have a track for every sample regardless. But check this out. So now if you notice that I can't pack these folders. So if I want to send each one of these 16 pads to its own track, it'll be just like this. I can't pack the folder. It's nothing I can do to pack the folder. There's no option, to let me close these and deal with something else, and we need that. But I found a way how you can do it, even though it's an extra step when it shouldn't have to be. But what you do, you go right here, you go to new multi instruments, right? You drop that. Let me start over. Let me move track instruments. You add a drop multi instrument, and what you do, you go right here and you grab your drum kit. You drop it in the multi instrument. Now once it's in the multi instrument, if you notice now, it got a folder right here. And if you press that folder, it open up all the drum kits. You can close it. So it has the option. Now you can't do it on here, but now you can, bust each one of your drum kits and pack the folder in the drum kits. You could do it that way. But the point is that now you can pack the folder. So that means you can have, your you know your drums packed up, and your vocals, the hook, the chorus, and whatever you want to expand. Instead of scrolling all the way down and pressing this until you get to that certain track. Sometimes you don't want to do all that. That's just too much, man. Time is money. It's about simplicity, and that's what a lot of doors got to get the picture on in 2019. But this is for the people who really don't know about this, because it was to a point where I was irked, and I like, Dad, Studio One 4 took the pack folders from the console mixer track. I remember in Studio One 3 you could do it, and they had it on whatever, but I thought they took it away from the console mixer track, this part, and I'm like, they going backwards, but they not. They just did it. They did it in a different way, which it could be less steps. It should be automatically. It should be automatically. If it got 16 pads, 16 times through H. So if you drop, so for example, like, look, you got A and B. A and B got sounds in it on this kit. And so that means that's 30. Now I think that's 31. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. It should automatically have mixer track. So when you expand it like this, it should have already each instrument on its own track automatically, man. What's so difficult about that? Because it's not like you still can right click and hide a certain one that you're not using, or move it out the way, or delete it. But the point is that sometimes every sound you might want to EQ or effect different. But also, this is another dope thing that Studio did, if you notice. Why I get why they probably did it this way. When it comes to the preset stock drum kits, and when you click on them, you might can't hear it right now. Certain sounds already panned a certain way. The kick is in the middle. Like, they basically got each sound exactly where it need to be without you doing anything right here. The sounds already sound so good, so it's to a point where if you're making a beat, all you really have to do is just level each sound the right way. Because when it come to EQing and compression and panning and using these tools, they hear that just in case you want to do something unique or change something, but actually you don't really have to change nothing because they sound that good and they already in place. They already pan a certain way, and how you really know, you have to be in front of your studio monitors, not headphones, but studio monitors, and tell like what's left and right, like seriously. And I just found that out right now, so I'm like, okay, wow. So what I think that they like, well, we already got everything set up to a point where you really don't have to do too much but level these. So if you decide to put some compression on the whole drums, you could just bust it and throw the compression on top of the whole bus, on top of all the drums. It's so many ways to do music, man. It's no limitation. Once you learn the basis of music, then you'll understand the process of it, man. But to me, packing folders is very important for me. This Yo Crizzle. If y'all have any questions about anything else, hit me up. Peace.